Peter Moore spent decades as a major figure in the video game world, helping birth blockbusters such as the Xbox 360 and Sega Dreamcast consoles. He's been using that tech business experience for the past 11 months as CEO of his beloved boyhood soccer team, English powerhouse Liverpool FC, known affectionately as the Reds. Liverpool is scheduled to play Premier League arch-rival, and even greater powerhouse, Manchester United on July 28 at Michigan Stadium as part of the International Champions Cup pre-season exhibition tournament. Moore, 63, spoke to Cranes about the club's strategy of using the ICC matches. It also will play in North Carolina and New Jersey in the days before Ann Arbor, as a tool to expand Liverpool's global fan base. And growing that fan base is a critical element of Liverpool's business plan to become the world's fastest-growing soccer team within 5 years. Playing at the Big House, where ICC matches previously set U.S. soccer attendance records, is part of the plan. The game will be the 201st all-time meeting between the clubs, whose rivalry is known as the Northwest Derby because of the team's proximity in that region of England, and another 100,000-plus crowd is expected. The rivalry dates to 1894, 3 years before the University of Michigan first played Ohio State in American football. This gives us a phenomenal opportunity to build our U.S. fan base, which already is large to say the least, said Moore, a native Liverpudlian who attended his first match at age 4 in 1959. Liverpool logged 2 million unique IP addresses from U.S. computers engaged with the team's website or social media last year, he said. This April, the club logged 928,000 visits from U.S. IP address just to the Liverpool FC website, double the previous year, he added. That's evidence of growth potential, Moore said. Playing in Ann Arbor will help further tap into that. The match will air live on ESPN. Locally, Liverpool has an official Detroit supporters club that meets for televised matches at Thomas McGee's Sporting House. The supporters club Twitter account is approaching 500 followers, and is one of nearly 50 official supporters clubs in the US, Puerto Rico, and Canada, and among 200 globally in 50 nations. Liverpool has been spending the past 8 months planning for its ICC trip to the United States, and has quietly had staff in Ann Arbor and other cities for months to handle the logistics of moving about 200 people from England to 3 American cities. In addition to the players, coaches, game staff, and executives, the team is bringing its medical, training, nutrition, and security staffs along with corporate partners, Moore said. Our travels in Europe have made us used to this, he said. We are used to moving in and out, the large number of people. While the details are yet to be unveiled, the Reds will make their presence, along with those of their business sponsors, known during their time in Michigan. We'll go into cities to activate Liverpool brand, Moore said. Suburban Denver-based Western Union Co. has its logo on the club's jersey sleeves, and will be part of the Liverpool's ICC showcase in each city, he said. Over the past 6 months, Moore has used his video game industry experience to orchestrate a revamp of the club's business practices to make it more digitally savvy, with investment in improved data and tech systems, customer relations management, ticketing, and other business functions. The end goal is to build the fanbase and corporate sponsorship profile, Moore said, and increase revenue that allows the club to buy better players. The concept of acquisition and engagement is key, he said. My Silicon Valley background taught me that years ago. I know, having lived in this world of video games for 2 decades, that the acquisition and engagement of a fan only leads to good things. Getting deeper engagement is key. Liverpool has more than 800 employees, Moore said. The expense of traveling for 9 days to the U.S. for 3 matches pays off in new fans, and fans are customers who buy merchandise, and even make trips to Liverpool for games. The club also is considering subscription models for access to new content, Moore said. Liverpool has been owned since 2010 by John Henry and Tom Werner's Boston-based Fenway Sports Group, the holding company that also owns the Boston Red Sox, Fenway Park, a minor league baseball team, auto racing team, and broadcast assets. NBA star LeBron James is a minority investor, spending $6.5 million in 2011 for a 2% stake, according to ESPN. Fenway Sports Group bought Liverpool for $477 million, and has been pumping money into the club, including an 8,500-seat expansion of home stadium on-field at a cost of $153 million, looming plans for a $67 million training complex, and hiring noted manager Jurgen Klopp to coach. It also spent $51 million last year to acquire from Italy's AS Roma the Egyptian-born striker Mohamed Salah, a 25-year-old star who leads all of the Premier League with 32 goals this season. Liverpool reportedly is expected to sign him to a deal worth nearly $250,000 per week, according to Sports Illustrated. He's currently playing under a deal that pays him $121,000 a week. Because the ICC falls between the end of the 2018 World Cup and the start of Premier League play, it remains uncertain how much star players will play, and even more so after Salah dislocated his shoulder in Saturday's Champions League final. But Moore said that the odds are best for the match in Ann Arbor because it's at the end of the tournament. "When we play Manchester United, we like to have a full-strength team," Moore said. Salah is part of Liverpool's effort to regain its storied place on the pitch, and that ongoing resurgence is expected to help fuel attendance at Michigan Stadium. The club finished fourth in the 20-team Premier League and on Saturday plays in the elite UEFA Champions League final in Kiev, Ukraine, against Spanish powerhouse Real Madrid. The Champions League is the annual tournament for the best of the top-flight European clubs, and this is Liverpool's first time in the final in 11 years. It last won it in 2005. Liverpool, which averaged 53,094 fans per home Premier League match, is one of the most successful European football clubs, but remains in the shadow of its Merseyside rival, Manchester United, which Forbes ranks at the most valuable soccer club in the world at $3.6 billion. The Reds are the fourth most at $1.4 billion, according to the most recent rankings. Liverpool has won 18 titles in the top flight of English soccer, known since 1992 as the Premier League. Manchester United, which also is American-owned, is first with 20 titles. There's also a disparity in revenue. European teams disclose their finances, and the most recent accounting from Deloitte, which publishes an annual soccer financial report, shows Manchester United with $908 million in revenue from 2016-17, and Liverpool at $570 million. That's first and ninth respectively, globally. For the Reds, their revenue come from three main sources: 43% from broadcast fees, 38% from commercial revenue, and 19% from matchday sources, according to the Deloitte report. The Man U and Liverpool revenue data illustrate the sharp disparity between Europe's powerhouse clubs and their American counterparts from Major League Soccer, where the LA Galaxy led the league in revenue for 2016-17 with $63 million, according to Forbes.com's most recent rankings. Both Liverpool and Man U have sprawling presences on social media that illustrate their global reach: 18 million followers on Twitter and 74 million on Facebook for Man U, and 10.1 million Twitter followers and 31 million on Facebook for Liverpool. Moore's job is to try to close those financial and fan gaps. Part of that effort includes beating Man U in front of an enormous crowd in Ann Arbor, a match he likened to Ohio State, Michigan and Red Sox Yankees. "The ICC game will be his first visit to Michigan. I eagerly await that experience," said Moore, a Liverpool native who played and coached with the Cleveland Cobras soccer team in the 1970s after a brief stint as a teacher in Wales. He worked for a French sports apparel company and then Reebok before jumping to the video game industry in the 1990s, with executive roles at Sega of America, Microsoft Corp., and Electronic Arts. He quit to take the Liverpool job in 2017, returning to live in Britain for the first time since 1981. He's called the CEO his dream job, leading and trying to grow the club he's spent his career cheering. He handles the non-soccer business. Liverpool sporting director Michael Edwards is in charge of player acquisition and managing the roster. Moore's growth efforts may be able to rely this summer on some of Liverpool's celebrity fans show up at its ICC matches, which can boost fan interest. Among known Liverpool supporters are actors Samuel L. Jackson, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Liam Neeson, and Millie Bobby Brown, and singers Lana Del Rey and Elvis Costello. The list also used to include the late Pope John Paul II and Nelson Mandela. This will be Liverpool's third ICC participation. It lost the ICC final match in 2014, was a runner-up in 2016. The tournament is organized by Detroit native and University of Michigan mega-donor billionaire Stephen Ross via his New York City-based Relevant Sports. The company pays the participating teams a fee to play, and makes money by selling the broadcast rights and collecting ticket, concessions, and merchandise revenue. This year's tournament is 18 teams playing from July 20 to August. 12 in 14 U.S. markets, plus 7 in Europe and in Singapore. Terms of the ICC's deals with Liverpool and the other clubs haven't been disclosed. The Reds have one other Metro Detroit connection. Liverpool's uniforms, known in soccer as a kit, were previously made by Warren-based Warrior Sports under a $49 million a year deal that began in 2012, but Warrior's Boston-based parent New Balance opted in 2015 to put its own logo on the jerseys under a deal reportedly worth up to $585 million.